Welcome back to the Insiders. It's Matt here. Just a quick note before the episode. We now have a YouTube channel. Please subscribe to the Insiders podcast on YouTube. We have a massive giveaway coming up that lines up with that. So get yourself subscribed and you won't miss out. Enjoy the app.
It's looking pretty good. Is that the shorter one?
Yeah, that's the short one.
Pinky Tuscadero.
I was just sorting it out because of I set the other one up today and it's looking good tomorrow, so I'm gonna set that on tomorrow.
I saw that on Instagram. Welcome to the Insiders Audio Noughts. We're not actually going to talk about Matt's surfboards or my surfboards that are on order. I think we're going to have plenty of time to talk about that. So let's kick off. Matty, I just want a couple of say. Firstly, we'll kick off by telling you why we're not talking about ourselves, because we're about to go into what I see a 4-5 month hiatus, where basically the top tier of the World Tour surfers go on what you could call holiday, off season, all of September for these people. For the people, for example, Matt, who aren't in the final five. So let's say someone I know, Leo. He might. Hopefully, we'll do a podcast with him. But whether we do or not, who cares? Well, maybe you guys care, which would be good. 25th of August. We're not going to see Leo in a WCT jersey until around about 25th of January.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
5 months, man. That's 5 months. So we've got plenty of time. All good, because the tour's not the all and
No.
being of the year, but it just feels really, really anticlimactic to me that this thing finishes in like 2 weeks at Trestles. That's for those 10, 5 guys and 5 girls. And apart from that, we've got what? Ribeira in Portugal, which is potentially one of their worst waves. And then Brazil for the end of the Changers, and that's it. Bob's your
Yeah.
uncle. Okay. Take that up the Yahtzee.
Yeah, 100%. So basically, Darren's point is we will talk about our new surfboards, but they deserve a dedicated podcast, and this is basically going to be our last podcast other than the final five, talking about the WSL for 5 months. So there's that.
Which is kind of refreshing for me as
Yeah,
well.
me too, 100%. And I love it. I love diving in and I love diving out. It's the same as football season and every other sport.
But it just seems like a really massive off season. And if I was a 13-year-old kid, I wouldn't be too happy.
Yeah, and to your point though, this is something wanted to dive into straight away. I guess if we're going to talk about Fiji and WSL and everything, is you just mentioned Ribeiro and Brazil are the last two on the Chang and stuff. Like we've just seen, and this is like we'll dive straight in, right? We've just seen Erin Brooks win Fiji, and she looked phenomenal, like completely not out of place at all. But she's nowhere near qualifying. And you look at the guys' side of the things on the Challenger series, and like you look at the top 10, and I think seven of them are like journeymen. Like Alei Jimenez should not make it. He shouldn't be allowed back in on tour. Like I know that sounds really bad, but you just shouldn't.
I
And
wonder if you can get some sort of thing like 3 strikes and you're off.
yeah, like Ian Gouveia is not like I'm sorry, but he won't make the mid-year cut. Like, and there's people like Cully Vast who should be on tour. And if you put Cully Vast on tour, he would outperform.
Yeah, but you can't just put people on tour because you think they'd perform, because it's happened before. It's happened. We've had like people, they're going to qualify Dane and everything. It's just some people don't certain I think suit a certain format in life.
No, I
You
agree,
can
but
be a mathematical genius and really not be good on the stock market, or all sorts of things like that. You can be a great carpenter but not work with others very well. So you got to be a subcontractor by yourself all the time. We had a couple of them at my dad's factory when I was a kid. I remember. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I completely agree. But and to your point, like Dane is a perfect example. Other people like like Mikey February. Don't forget that he was trying to crack the Challenger Series, the World Tour.
And he got
So
on there and he didn't fit it.
exactly, but I'm talking about Aaron Brooks, who is comp, and I'm talking about
Hey,
Cali Vast, who
but
is as well.
look at this, Matt. I'll read it for you. This is what I sent to my fantasy surfer go homes team. Wildcards at Talo, even if he isn't a joker, anything can happen and he missed the Olympics. Aaron Brooks, only a blind, deaf, dumb kid who can't play ping pong, wouldn't pick her. I like I was would have bet. I don't bet. Brothers just don't bet. By the way, viewers, we're very
Oh, see,
I don't even know the word. We're
I've
very
got
something that we don't bet. And of
I've
course,
got
like she won. It wasn't really all-time Fiji, but I think she probably could have won, probably won that anyway.
I've got a little bit of a betting story actually, not about Aaron, but
Ooh la la, ooh la la.
I put money on Rio Wider every single time he surfed, and he won me
There you
money.
go.
And
So you want a bit of coin?
won a decent bit of coin off purely off. Do you know what? I put two bets on the first day. No, sorry, I put one bet on, which was Rio to win against Geordie and whoever else it was, and it came through. And then the next day, I put bet on Rio again, and that came through. And then I put a multi bet on the man heats, and I had five people selected, and I changed one and added John to the bet, not thinking John would lose to E. Michaelani DeVault, and he did, and he let me down. But then Rio won on a separate bet, and then he kept winning me, so I was up, but not heaps of money. But Rio Wide is a little god for that because that every little bit of a penny helps. But yeah, obviously that
Can
was
I
a bit of
can
a
I throw
scramble.
some philosophy at you?
Go.
Boy, Aaron being indoctrined and potentially brainwashed by her father, from what I'm reading a little bit on
Yep.
religion, Jesus, etc. Does that not take the pressure off her a little bit by saying, look, if I win, it's God's will, and if I lose, it's God's will. There's nothing that means nothing. If I cut someone off, God wanted me to cut him off. If I snake someone, God wanted me to do it. If I fall, that there seems to be in this world at the moment, like I would have called myself if you had spoken to me even 13 years ago when my older brother passed away. I was a pretty serious atheist in the fact that whatever, I don't want to go ruffle anyone's feathers until I realized that how do you know anyway?
But
But sometimes I just hear that dribble from them and just think, can you not just keep that to yourself? Because at the moment, there's kids that are losing legs in two different wars. And
yeah,
I mean, I don't know. I don't
I
know.
think it's a bit.
Is there a way they can shut that down on the WSL without getting caught? What if you start talking about Satan?
I don't know, but I do think separate to what you were saying, but in the same light. I think it's quite a kind of interesting thing to pick up on when you talk about when you hear like Erin Medina says it all the time, and then you widen it to like Messi, like and loads of elite athletes, like elite winning athletes. They all say like um first and foremost like grace to God and thank you God and all of this. And it makes me wonder, is that like a bit to your point? Is there like some kind of like blind belief that gives you a higher self-belief, which is like needed to like to do it? Like it's a bit strange, but like there's a lot of
Take the
people.
fact that you're a kid whose dad was a leper. You got no money. You're smart. You're the wrong color in the wrong country. Whatever. And then you've got a privileged white, whoever traveling the world, doing
Yeah,
yoga, doing yoga. Everyone's looking for self-belief and everything. Because mental health's such a big issue, why would it then be? I can't take the piss out of these people that are using it. That like you don't have to think about life if you just send. Well, whatever I do doesn't necessarily matter
yeah.
because God just wanted it.
And I think like that's kind of to that point is like fair play. If they want to live in that way and have that belief, then that is amazing for them and good on them and good luck to them. It's the same as I won't if I see two magpies, I will salute them and if I don't, I know that
Two
I'm
magpies.
yeah, like it's my own thing because magpies are meant to. So there's a song about magpies in England, and it's one for sorrow, two for joy. So I've made up this thing my entire life where whenever I see two, I salute them to know that I've seen two, so it brings me joy, right? So it's like but I see it as like a
Hey,
good luck thing.
if I see a penny on the ground, I pick it up.
Yeah. So all of it is made up, right? And so I've made up that if and there's days where I've seen like one magpie and I'll be walking my dog around and I'll be searching for the second one because then I'm like, okay, that's like a good sign. And then if I don't see it or if I see three instead of two, I'm like, and then something bad happens that day, my mind thinks it's the magpies. It's nothing to do with the magpies, but it's like,
Well,
or it might be.
in
Um,
in 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 finalizing all that, I'm going to categorically say I think it was nothing to do with God that Erin won that comp, and the fact that she's been traveling the world and going to every good spot since she was I don't know how old from that. I don't know how they financed it or whatever. She's an incredible surfer. I think she's hungrier than Katie. I think she's more ruthless, which is funny because I don't think Katie's probably anywhere as near religious as she is. If she is, I don't know. I don't. I don't think Katie stands a candle to Erin's ruthlessness, or which I can just imagine her walking over people over the next 10 years to win in God's name. And I reckon she's on track, unless she breaks an ankle or a knee or something for it. You'd have to think at least five world titles, maybe more. It depends if does she get a bit taller there somewhere. She's got fantastic technique. She's got an incredible slash. She's a hell tube rider. She's got backside, front side. I don't see any weakness,
yeah,
and she's ruthless.
I haven't seen her in,
Smiling assassin.
yeah, but then you got to think like at the moment on the Challenger series, she's not doing
Oh,
amazing.
she'll smash. Oh, well, I
Uh,
think she'll smash him at Ribeira because she's on her backside and she's little and she's light, so she'll be able to do like 65 backhand Rios, which is what's his name did it last year to win it, didn't he? Who did it? Who won Ribeira last year with like
um,
60 backhand Rios?
last year, I would have said
Maybe it was Gavia or maybe it was one of those dudes.
I thought I haven't in my mind had like Callum Robson went deep in,
No, 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 that was the year before.
but
So anyway, I think well, if she gets on tour, but if she doesn't get on tour next year, she'll get on tour the year after. She's only a
17,
kid.
yeah, no, I
I,
think so.
I,
Like, her bottom
what
turn.
else had Cloudy excited you?
What else at Cloudy? Well, yeah, I mean, Erin Brooks was amazing. Her bottom turn is unbelievable. What else? It was
Kelly,
no, not at all. I'm over the goat. On the world tour. I'm excited to see him in France, but that's it. Um,
you
no,
think he'll come to France? If do you think he'll actually? Do
yes,
you think he'll be there if it's 2 foot?
I think he will be there because I
Okay,
think worst case
blind
scenario,
flake. That's good.
he's going to be playing golf with Belly and
No, he's going to play golf with Belly in
Jeremy.
Scotland. In Scotland the week after, because he goes to that thing every single year up in
That's what I
Scotland,
mean. So
St Andrews.
he's in Europe anyway and stuff. Anyway, what excited me about Cloudy?
I guess it gives him relevancy at the
Yeah,
quickie.
yeah, exactly. Um, yeah, Medina. I thought Medina was really, really good, and I
Pretty
liked how he
good.
served until he lost.
Would
Um,
you have given that away for 10?
no,
Yeah, but I thought it was pretty good. I think it's funny
I
he's
thought
doing a lot of claiming for tens.
the front side hack that he done looked at he got a little stuck. Like, so I don't think it was a 10. I tell you what got me excited, not in the Leo's heat when he lost was controversial.
I
Uh,
didn't see that, but I
so
think I read it.
he needed an 8-5, and with like not long to go, 10 seconds or whatever, he locks into this barrel and he gets one of the best barrels of the day. And really controversially, so five judges, two gave him an 8,
I'm
two
going to look at it.
two gave him an 8-5, and one gave him a 9, right? So three of the five judges gave him the score he needed or higher. But because you dropped the top score and the low score, the average,
Oh,
he got
gutted.
833. So he didn't make the heat, but it was quite exciting.
Especially considering it was clutch.
Yeah. I I watched it, and before that all came up, I went, "Oh, that's an 8-5." Like I thought it was I thought it was excellent surfing and above. Um yeah. What else excited me?
Just kind of like, cause it was just really late for us. Like I
Yeah,
watched a couple of nights till midnight, and I missed the whole lot. I was just like really a little bit in shock that Gabrielle and John got knocked out, but it wasn't really clean, perfect
no. I was
Cloudbreak. It was
gonna,
still 6 foot, so I just can't understand how they got beaten. Really, apart from I was really shocked Griffin won that, but geez, he looks good.
yeah, that's one of the things that I wanted to bring up to you tonight was so I thought Ryan Callanan would probably be a top five surfer if they swapped all the rights on tours for lefts.
Or if he could win heats.
He's unbelievable. I also think the same about Yago. Um,
Oh,
but
Yago's just fantastic to watch, isn't he? He's just
yeah,
incredible.
but I did think it was really fucking cool to see people like Griffin, who I swear I've only ever seen him go right, to see how good his backhand is. Jack Robbo done some ridiculous backhand snaps and
And Mr. Smooth, hell,
amazing. Yeah, like so it was really nice to see the people that you've been like I've never ever spoken about Ethan going left, and I thought he looked really good. I mean, who would have thought that he would semi-final out at Cloudbreak,
his home break,
North Straddy?
Main Beach straight, he's a left. It's a pumping little pitchy left. And funnily enough, I surfed better waves, I reckon, than what they had on the final day on the Friday night, which so that was it's kind of it just we had a good day on Friday, and I worked really hard all day, and I just got really lucky where I got in the water 7:30 late. It was 4 to 6 foot left-handers, like just pumping. I think like if you had to put those guys out there,
God
you
was
would have
looking
seen
after
better
you.
You would have seen better surfing than what you saw
Yeah,
like that. But it was kind of like really hard as well. Classic France, where one set would be good and one set wouldn't be, as
yeah.
opposed to cloud break, which is a great thing about watching a reef break, is the waves come in a similar sort of place. So surfers can position themselves, and generally then you see a surfer who's on edge and controlling win.
What do you think about the fact that that's going to be the finals day next year?
Well, I'd rather see it there than trestles, which is predominantly, and anyone can say what they want, that trestles can be left, but the 90% of the scoring rides are rights. So
Yeah,
let's give it a left. And it's like one of the best lefts in the world. It's barrels and turns. Like, look, two natural footers in the final. Like,
yeah.
if there's a goofy footer good enough, they'll make it. I don't necessarily think it favors either way. We'll see. I mean, like, greatest surfer ever there, Kelly. natural footer. Andy, natural footer. Oki, Luke Egan. I think it's a mix. I think it's a pretty good spot.
Do you think that do you think that people like this might be a silly question, but might not. But do you think people like Ryan
Ask him.
Callan and Yago Dora and Conor O'Leary are gonna have and like Cole Houshman extra motivation to try and make the final five with
Of course, because there they can honestly see themselves with a really good crack.
yeah,
Unfortunately, Ryan and all those guys, except for Cole, who won comp first year, I just don't know. Such a hard sport. Like it's looking pretty hard for them to take out like Jack and Ethan and even
mm,
John and like
yeah,
those guys are just so good. It's just not funny. Such a weird sport, surfing. How you can have different levels, but those guys are really, really, really good.
they are. They are very,
Like
very
like Ryan Callahan, he dropped a net at that cloud break maybe 2, 3 years ago, 4 foot cloud break. It was the best surfing I'd nearly ever seen.
mm.
Like you, like he's that good. Like you think like as good
Do
as
you,
anything you've ever seen. Like as good as Medina, as good as John. You think how come you can't do it in 30 minutes? Because it's hard to do it in 30 minutes.
is September going to be a better time for because Cloudbreak obviously like I mean let's be real the
I'll ask me mate, old Kingy, if he can give me a bit of a rundown on that. I think even if it's not its prime season, I think it's still pretty good. September, what's it? September in Australia is September's spring, so it's in the southern hemisphere. Spring's not necessarily the best time anywhere in the world, is it? But it's out there in the ocean.
yeah yeah I was just thinking like
Or is it autumn? No, is it southern
no
hemisphere? It's
it's
southern
spring
hemisphere, isn't it?
yeah it's just going into spring but
I just don't know if they know what they're doing. These
mm,
idiots. I mean, I just don't see why they wouldn't go to a full tour and do it like that. If they want to have a couple of specialty events,
just
they
do it like
could.
I just don't get why they don't do it like golf where keep the finals day. But like after Cloud Break, John, well done, you are world champ. Now the final five get to go and surf for the
Gibson's Cup,
yeah the
McSipper Cup,
WSO
McSipper
Cup,
Cup.
and you win £250,000. Winner takes it all.
I woke up. No, I didn't wake up. When did I thought about this in the other night? I thought, like, why don't me and Matt just try and scour down some big time sponsors and say, okay, here's $1 million. Let's just say 100,000, whatever. Each 200,000, winner takes all, and pick five of like the surfers that people most want to see. Let's say John, Gabriel, Jack, Ethan,
Depends where, but yeah.
like six, and do you one thing. Oh, it's just a specialty event. Katie, Molly, Aaron Brooks, the people that are lighting it up the most. That was like, and not even
What
public
about
consensus. The person that's putting the money up
what about if
employs someone who picks the people.
what about if you picked
Yeah,
10 and added Nathan Florence and
he's not gonna come close to those guys,
oh,
unfortunately, unless it's
depends where
fifth
it
or
is.
flip.
What about like Solly Bailey? Like mental, having a mental
Mm.
like
I had him on my notes. It was Cloudbreak, Soli Bailey. You saw it. Let's bye bye VG. We've done you. But obviously Solly Bailey had a couple of edits. He had some amazing waves this year.
unbelievable. And I'm like like for me, like obviously I don't know him or anything, but I'm so stoked to see it because I am a little bit like
It's just a surfer out of the box.
yeah, because he was on tour. Like he obviously made the tour and fell off and whatever. And you're like, oh, is that like I'd much rather Solly Bailey be how he is now than be finishing like 20th in the year or being like Kanoa Igarashi, right? Kanoa, I can't remember the last time Kanoa got past a quarterfinal and he's just doing what he does. Obviously, he loves to compete and he can do what he can do. But Kanoa could do what Soli's doing and get the best waves of his life and travel, get more money, like, and have more fun and more recognition, which Soli's now doing. When Solly Bailey was on tour, no one was talking about Solly Bailey.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's sick.
Soon sees what soon shows what actually good waves can do to viewing pleasure.
Yeah, and also just a little bit of out of the box thinking. Like I don't have to do this. You don't have to be on tour to get recognition, basically. And actually, it's probably harder to do that. His edit, which is called Conehead, um, is very, very good. If anyone wants to go and see someone get fully coned, and some amazing waves and some amazing surfing, definitely recommend it. Yeah, there's been a few fun ones that have been dropped, haven't there?
So that brings me down next to because I'm still slipping in behind your free login. Maybe I'll log in.
No,
So I read a big article on Carissa Moore
forever,
today.
forever.
Obviously, she's preggers, which is
Yeah,
great. Congratulations, Carissa, incredible. And there was a big celebration of Carissa, and I'm thinking, can't that like someone even said like she's unsung. I was like, can't they celebrate someone else for a while? Like, I love Carissa. I think she's the best, one of the best um,
you know who it
role,
was who said
role
it?
models a young female surfer could ever have. She didn't go the G-string path. She was performing. She was nice, all that. But come on, she's had everything. Like, and also she had great private school upbringing in on the North Shore and a lot of privilege and everything like that. Can't they can find someone else to talk about?
Yeah, you know who it was who said she was unappreciated or undervalued or whatever, don't you?
Who was that? I
Matt
can't even
Mahoney.
remember. Oh,
Matt
he's
Mahoney.
fucking full of shit because he's sponsored. It's just full of shit. Ah, great goat. Who gives a fuck who the goat is or the female goat is? Can't
But
they just appreciate people and
yeah,
a lot of these people are bitching about, oh, the young kids don't get fucking recognition, or so write an article about them instead of always the same person, which is just
yeah,
so easy, dumb journalism.
100%. Do you know what? It goes on to a point that I wanted to make. This is a really like rogue thing, but it's perfect for our podcast. Is I watched Happy Gilmore the other day, right? Have you seen Happy Gilmore?
The original film with
Yeah,
Adam Sandler,
yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
fucking funny.
Right. There, where in the world on the surf tour and on other tours as well, where has that person gone? Where like they're like just where is the rock star? Where is the
I guess you could
non-polished
say they're trying to manifest it with Griffin because he's a little bit funny
in a way,
unintentionally.
but he's still like kind of polished. Where's the guy who comes out who loses his heat? A bit like what Medina done at Bells, right? But turn it up. Like you lose your heat, like fucking like lose it. Be like Bobby Martinez. Where are these people? Because I miss them. Because I watched Happy Gilmore and I was like, fuck, where is the guy who's the PR
You
nightmare?
got it in basketball, you got it in
Yeah,
football, you got it in all these sports.
yeah,
Yeah.
I know. Even golf, like even like people in golf, like Bryson DeChambeau is pretty like out there and other things like that. Like, and I'm just like, like surf is meant to be a bit punk and a bit like like raw, and where's Bobby gone? Like, where's like that?
Well, that brings me to the next person I put in my notes to speak about, which was Billy. Because I heard that on Beach Grit podcast, they have Pro in the Wild, or whatever it's called, or whatever. And it was someone slagging onto Billy because a, a full tilt beginner sort of kook guy bumped into some kid, maybe Billy's kid, with a longboard with his longboard. Billy just like wrote him off and everything very publicly on the main beach there, Waikiki and everything. So the guy was like, "Yeah, he's a douchebag," which basically means he's a dick or whatever. And I am not. necessarily the greatest Billy fan, but it's like not being a fan of Trump doesn't mean everyone agrees with me as well. And I still don't think him keeping the money for himself is that really drastic, where before people would have said, oh, it was pretty cool. And are we all, do people actually think surfers are nice guys out there in the world? I've heard and seen about fucking 20 run-in fights down here over the last just 1 year. Of people
Yeah,
getting thrown out of the water, people saying that he's a dick. People used to say I was a dick all the time, my friends and stuff, year ago. So, because if you're older than 25 and you try and get competitive paddling for a wave, people like get pissed off at you. But like, if you don't, unfortunately, in surfing, unless you live on a deserted island, you're not going to catch a wave anywhere except the
yeah,
wave pool.
yeah. I mean, Billy is Billy, and I think it's very people. I think that like with Billy and like with the thing with him blowing up at that guy and stuff is it's very easy to judge. Then put yourself in that situation where one of my mates got hit by like one of my mates full blown adult in 1 foot surf got hit on the thigh by a longboard, and he his thigh like doubled in size within 10 minutes.
There you
Like
go. He's out of the water for so long.
yeah, and like
Can't be that
it's
fun.
your kid. Like at the end of the day, the closest thing I can think of to that is if someone let their dog have a pop at my dog, what would I do? Well, I will tell that owner he's a James Blunt and the rest of it because so it's very quick to judge, but then put yourself in that position where someone with a longboard whacks your kid. Like you're gonna let them know. You're gonna let the
And he's American. Like he's not like
yeah.
English or you're like a
I think
gentleman or
but we're
anything else. That's
not.
their
Like
whole
the
culture.
thing is, in England, you get like it depends where you go and stuff, but like where I grew up, if someone like bumped into your kid, you're getting opened up. Like so,
If someone bumps into you up near the old Saltburn and
yeah,
Staines
Ruby
and all
Hill
that,
did.
I've seen place. I tell
Dude,
you, where did I go? Whitby. I
yeah,
saw the toughest guy I've ever seen in my life at Whitby. Like you looked at the bitumen when
yeah.
you were walking by. Hey, anyway, sorry. So
So that,
that
yeah, I like
then
that.
what I wanted to, oh, Whitby, you'll just love Whitby.
Wait, I've got something for you
Fuck.
on. I made a few notes as well. I got something on that topic. I've seen a trend around here, and
Mm.
it makes me think it's one of those trends where it definitely wouldn't happen in Whitby. But I don't know if it's happening in France or not. But
Give us it. Give
um,
us it.
do you have people down there wearing necklaces outside of their wetsuits? Like it's mainly young males.
No, I haven't seen that yet.
They're wearing like their gold chains, like not like fucking like
You're
the
gonna lose that chain doing that, I reckon.
big necklace or like not big, but like a little gold chain like coming out, and they have it outside of their way for this, and I'm like, you fucking cock.
Yeah, but maybe these dudes they love that chain.
Yeah, but if you love it, wouldn't you just have it under your wetsuit?
Yeah, I wouldn't be feeling it. I'm not feeling
Um,
it. I haven't seen it, but I'm gonna. We've been in board shorts and springy, so I'm gonna
yeah,
keep my
yeah.
eye out on that one. But I see. I nearly forgot with my Alzheimer's. What sort of chance do you think this Tenore brand has got?
Um,
Better than average?
lower than average.
So interesting to watch these things, and so I think the same. I mean, but what do we know about
Do you know what? That was one of the things on
American
Stab.
commercial culture? What do we know? Nothing, because
That
we
was
don't.
one of the things on Stab where they got three industry market leading marketeers or whatever to talk about Tenore
Mm.
and said that Pat Tenore is a genius because in his first release he's put his name on his clothing. I'm like, it's his fucking brand name. What else is he going to put on his clothing? Do you know what I mean? No one came out and started calling John an absolute icon of marketing. I've got it down my arm right now. It's on every
So
piece
there you
of
go.
clothing.
Why would John stop the tour when he's got his own hell brand, which is starting to get traction, and he only has to surf 9 events over
Yeah,
like 6 months, and then like he's got 5 months off. He
yeah,
surfs anyway. He's got 5 months off.
and
That's more time with your child than any single parent in the
yeah,
world in
and
any
also
job.
with that, he's got 5 months off, and then the first whole month he's in Hawaii anyway because it's pipe and
There
sunset.
you go. He can spend 6 months in his own bed with his kid, with his missus, helping out, heaps of coin, and then still only have to do 6 months. I can't, and he's got his own brand, and meanwhile he doesn't even have to go on the trips because he's got his brother doing that. I think I think it's going to grow in traction just because, like, for example, he wins the world title, which he could. I called that last year. I still think now's my chance to see if the money was worth where my mouth is. I think Jung John's really good potentially at trestles, but
Me too.
we'll talk about trestles in the episode next week. I don't think it's worth talking about yet. Keep
No.
it up
Uh,
our sleeve.
in reply to your thing, Tenore, not draw on it, don't not holding my breath, and I don't get why Stab are arse licking the fuck out of Pat Tenore because he was some guy at RVCA. At the end of the day, if he was that good, they would have done better. Because
They seem to
rumors,
like the shiny brands that can potentially advertise with them.
maybe. Yeah. The other thing I wanted to bring up is um, the oh, it's gone straight out of my
Spit
head.
it out.
No, it's gone. It's gone because I'm now thinking about how much I don't like Pat Tenori already.
Yeah, it's pretty. You never know. Well, Tenora could just go viral.
Yeah, could
Did you
do.
see that surfer guy get smacked out by the cops in
Yeah,
in
New
East
Jersey.
Coast? Because you got to have a pass to go on the beach. And I read a comment from someone, yeah, but you don't understand. They got 50,000 people coming to their beach on a day. And I was thinking, yeah, well, maybe 50,000 of those fucking people, for example, are from New York, where you don't have a beach, and they've got 50 million people coming to their footpath. Do you need a pass to walk down Manhattan? That's pretty sucky.
Weird as. Sure, and the guy was a local, right?
I don't know.
Surely, like, because
That's just so horrible.
so weird. I know that Brendan Buckley. I had a
80
quick
bucks it is. 80 bucks for a season pass or 20 for the
yeah.
day
Because
trip.
I had a brief chat with Brendan Buckley because he's just had a kid, the guy at Stab, and he's from
Yep.
there, and he got done for not having a pass on the beach there before and got arrested in a wetsuit and stuff, which is quite interesting.
Italy's got private beaches too, little beach clubs.
Yeah, even South of France does, doesn't it? When I was down there,
The
there's
other side.
yeah, the other side, yeah,
Yeah.
um, yeah, but mental really.
Oh, I got me 3-2 simple wetty in
Oh
the
yeah, yeah,
post.
yeah. I surfed in mine today.
Thanks, James. Thanks, simple. Oh, it looks warm. And I got this thing and I was thinking it kind of gave me the irks because it was so warm here, and I was thinking, well, I won't even. I've just put it in the garage. So, but then a few days ago, we had the cold snap morning, mid-August. Happens every year.
Yeah, yeah.
Even though the last couple of mornings aren't that good, we had the biggest run of swell ever for an August, which for me, being a man of averages, just makes me think September's going to be small.
Don't
So
say
we'll see. But tomorrow, the next 2 days of cooking, so I don't think I'm going to wear a 3-2 though.
no. I surfed in mine today because there's this wind around at the moment, which is bringing in like a pretty fresh feeling. Not nothing bad, and the water's still warm, but 3-2 and wore my simple suit, and um, I was
Good.
pad I was basically paddling against a rip for like the whole session, hour and a half, or paddle, yeah, and so warm, like still kind of too warm, but in a good way.
Go
But
on, go on their site, listeners. See, but it looks really good.
yeah, yeah, the
We're,
suit's
we're
legit.
running out of time, Matt.
And also with that suit is it's so good to take off. It slips off. Like I love that about a wetsuit. So
Next week, we talk about our surfboards. Got a 6.5 Bradley Lynx, 6.11 Rob Bourne round pin. I just got an epoxy 1 bad egg Fipsy 610, very light. Matt's got a couple of crazy album boards. We're going to talk surfboards. We're going to get spunked because it's autumn. Follow us on Instagram. Follow Ray Gunn, the breakdancer from Australia. She just fucking rips.